I'm Jasmine. I'm from the community of Beachville. I currently work for Intrepid Travel, which is the largest small group tour company in the world. I'm the owner and operator of Lakeview Haven, which is this beautiful little piece of heaven in Chester, a place to just disconnect and reconnect with yourself, nature, God, your partner, just to get away from the hustle and bustle of life and refresh and recharge and relax. My first memories, my mom used to travel for work a lot, so my sister and I would take turns and travel with her. We have family in Toronto and Montreal, so those were the two of the places we went to often. A big trip would be my sweet 16th birthday. I celebrated in Hawaii. It's funny because when I graduated high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I feel like society kind of shapes us up to have it all figured out after high school. I looked at what I was interested in, and I was interested in the justice system. So I moved to Toronto and I studied community and justice. But my last year, I saw an ad online that said, "Do you like to work with kids?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was like, "Do you want to get paid to travel the world?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!" So then I applied. And I thought it was a scam the entire time. Even up, I went to the interview, I got the job, and then for the first contract, you had to pay for your flight to Miami. And so I was just like, I'm gonna get there and it's not gonna be real. But it was very real. And it was amazing. It was life-changing. So it wasn't planned, but I feel like that, the best things out of life come that way when they're not planned. The first contract I had to fly myself to Miami. So I got there, I stayed at a hotel. I was like, they're not gonna have my name at the front desk. I got there, they did. And then the next day, the bus picked us up at 6 a.m. to take us to our first ship. And so I got there, and just driving up, I will just never forget that feeling because I was so anxious. I mean, when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're stepping into the unknown, you feel super anxious, you're full of fear, you're just scared, right? But it's so amazing. It's such an amazing feeling, and I will never forget that feeling because my heart was just beating, and I just walked out. I had no idea what to expect. I literally didn't know. And so when I walked onto this ship with 5,000 people, I was just in a whole nother world. And from there, our next contract, they paid for our flights to and from our ship. So such an amazing feeling meeting people. It was such an eye-opening experience for me when I first stepped on the cruise ship, because for me it was like a dream job. My role on the cruise ship, I worked as a youth staff. So I worked with kids. I worked from age 2 to 11 years old. There wasn't much room for growth in our department. For the whole 7 years on the cruise ships, my role was a youth staff. I've always worked with the kids. Traveling in general shaped me as a person completely. It's changed who I am. I'm more confident. I'm a huge introvert, so to meet people, especially if you're solo traveling, you have to step out of your comfort zone and be a little extrovert and talk to people. It's shifted my priorities. I'm definitely more of an experience over material type of person. I would spend all my money on life experiences rather than material things. It's made me more open-minded. The people that I've met, the places that I've been, it's made me more appreciative for life, for what I have, for my friends and family who I miss when I'm gone for months at a time, and then I come home and I get to see them. If you have an open mind, traveling, whether it's for pleasure or for work, it can completely change who you are as a person, and traveling has shaped who I am today. I have been blessed to visit 40 countries so far, 5 out of the 7 continents. Spain will always have my heart just because I lived there. So the other places, I was just visiting, but Spain, I lived there for 6 months. So it was just a beautiful experience, a beautiful culture, a beautiful country. So that would be my number one. So I absolutely loved every single place that I've traveled to, but if I had to pick one, it would be Spain. I've been to Australia, Greece, the ABC Islands, which is Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, St. Martin, St. Lucia, Dominican, Italy, Turkey, Morocco, so many places. Working on cruise ship and working with children allowed me to start my own little business when I moved to Spain and work with kids there. And I got to make my own hours and teach them English and look after them, which allowed me to, travel the country on the days I wasn't working. I have an adventurous soul. Like, I'm an open-minded person, and I feel like I step out of my comfort zone, and I really believe in that. And it's easy for us to get consumed by fear. We come up with all these ideas, we want to take these trips, we want to start these businesses, but taking that first step is what it stops us, right? And so, but that first step of me going to the cruise ship, working on the cruise ship, like I took that step, and although I was shaking, like my heart was in my stomach, the feeling that came after, the growth that came after was amazing. And so I always take that first step. Sometimes, a lot of times, it doesn't work. Like what I want to do or what I'm envisioning, it doesn't work out, and I learn from it, and it's fine. But sometimes it does, and it's been amazing. And God, like I believe in God, and I trust His plan, and I pray over everything I want to do. And if I feel Him guiding me this way, like I will go. And like everything just happens for a reason, because when I was in Spain, that's kind of where the idea of Lakeview Haven came to fruition, because I celebrated my 28th birthday at an Airbnb in the mountains, surrounded by nature. I had my phone, I was disconnected, I was journaling, I was praying, and the amount of joy and peace that I felt, I was just like, I want people back home to experience this, whether it's to the same extent or not. Like, I just want people to disconnect, because we get so caught up in life that next thing you know, like years are gone by, and you're just thinking, when did I take time for myself and to really figure out what it is I love to do and what I want to do. I wrote it down on my goal list that I wanted to create something like this. I didn't know that it was going to happen this quick. And, but yeah, like everything happens for a reason. Lakeview Haven is a place to come out and to disconnect from the world. There's no Wi-Fi here. So it's on a lake, so you can bring out your water equipment and explore the lake. There's lots of games inside, so people just sit there and play, and they connect with their partner. I've had honeymoons out here, I've had anniversaries, I've had solo travelers that just come, and I had someone come for a writing retreat and ended up writing a book. So it's just like, it's very quiet. There's the fires. It's a beautiful place, and I would invite anyone to come experience it. If you were to travel for a career, like I would say do it. Any chance someone gets to travel for a career. I mean, cruise ships aren't for everybody. There's websites called Workaway where you work in exchange for a place to stay. And so those experiences, I would just tell anyone to do it, but to keep an open mind. Like, that's the biggest thing. And especially, I feel like being from Halifax, I mean, it's a small city, right? So sometimes people's minds aren't as big, because this is what we're used to. And so you step foot outside of Nova Scotia and you're like, wow, the world is huge, and there's so many people out there. There's so many people have had so many different experiences, but you have to have that open mind to receive all of that, the experiences, the adventures. You're gonna have times where I've cried. I wanted to go home, like I missed my home. I've had times where I was just so happy, and I absolutely love my life. But some people might not agree with my mindset, where I'm very free-spirited in that sense. But life is short. And so if you have the opportunity to work and to travel, like if you work and travel at the same time, like do it. Even the thing about life is that you can come back home, So if you don't like it, yeah, come back. So hard to just have one word or phrase that travel has taught me, to be open-minded, to be grateful for what you have.
My name is Shakira Grant. I'm from Cherry Brook, Nova Scotia, and this is my travel experience.